Hello and welcome to a new quick tutorial by Christoph Werner. Today I would like to show you how to use the color palette window in 3D Code and how to manage your colors and save and load it for further situations like new scenes and all this stuff. Okay, before we work with the palette, we need to see the palette window. You can find it in the main menu when you click here on the Windows menu point, then pop-ups, and then the color palette. The color palette window appears and you can work with it. What I do is I like to drag the window to the right upper corner to have it here in the main menu and work with it. This palette will stay here for all the time. That means when you exit your 3D Code session and you restart the tool again later, then the color palette window will appear at the same position. You can save the palette window and all other windows, all your workspace, to a file to use it, for example, when you're working at a client place or a client office, or if you are working at your friend or any other place where you are using 3D Code. To save your whole workspace, you just go to Windows and Store Workspace. You use this command here. Then a file window appear, and you can save your workspace to a file anywhere you want. To restore your workspace, you just use this command here, and you can then you can restore the file and use it again in your 3D Code application. Okay, come back to the palette window. Here you see the palette window. You have a small arrow here in the right upper corner. There you can load and save your palette. Small information for the current version. The current version I am using is 3.5.20. In this version you can save your palette, but it will only appear here in the recent loaded file menu if you save your palette to the user folder, to the main user folder on your main partition where Windows is installed, if you are working with a Windows system. So all the color palettes you have saved recently will appear here. If you save your palette file to a different place than the user folder, then it will not appear here in the list. This is not a problem because your palette will stay and you can always load it from the place where you have saved it. The only disadvantage is you will not see it here in the recent files menu. With these two commands you can load and save your palette. Okay, to change your palette here, you just go on one of your color boxes here in the palette window and press the right mouse button. Then you see a new pull-down menu appear. There you have 4 different commands. The first one is delete all, what means it deletes all colors, all color boxes which are saved here, and the whole window will be empty. The next one is delete, which means if you go over this red box here and press delete, the red one will be deleted. Okay, and the next one is insert, which means when I choose a color here in my color picker window, this color will be inserted into this existing palette, which means when I go here to this gray box and say insert, my new active color, this one, will be inserted before my gray box on the left side here. And the last one is edit color, what means you can choose the right mouse button, click on edit color, and the color picker window will appear and you can change the color. Before I change the color it's blue or violet, and when I change it, for example, to green and say OK, it will be changed to green. So if you are happy with your palette, you can save it just to a file and you can use it later for a new scene, for example. But if you remember, the new palette here will stay always as long as you don't delete it or do anything for any session. What I would like to do to show you additionally is how to work with the color palette window. When you click on this color picker box here, then the color picker window appears. Here in this window you have different color modes to choose your color you like. You have the HSL 1, 2, 3 and 4. These are different color wheels and different color modes where you can choose from. And the last one, the most interesting here, it's called image or IMG, which is called for image. What you can do here is you can just load an image and pick a color directly from the image. Here you have a small toolbar where you can zoom into the image to pick, for example, some detailed colors. With this icon you can drag it and you can drag the image and move it to any position. And with the point icon, this one here, the target icon, or I don't know what you can call it, you just click and you can bring the window to the main position. To select a new image, you click on select. Actually it is loading, and then you can click on one of your images and open it. And the image will be placed here and you can see it. To come back to the recent loaded images, you just click here on this arrow and you see the last loaded images that were recently loaded. Then you can just click on one of the images and it will be loaded again. So it is very nice if you are working with different images and you need them to pick a color. Of course, you can paste an image directly from your clipboard, which means, for example, if you are working in the background with Photoshop, or for example with an image that you have seen in the internet and you like to have the colors, just copy this image into the clipboard and paste it with this command directly into this window here. And then you can just go and choose one of the colors. These three commands here can change the color that you have used. So for example, this is the hue slider, the saturation slider and the lightness slider. To change these three commands, you can click on the HSL button. Then you can change to the RGB mode, for example, if you are more familiar with. Between these two modes you can switch if you click here. Okay, this is all for today. I hope you liked my small tutorial, and I would be very happy if you visit me on my blog in the internet. Bye bye!